Okay, here's another look at our great new feature called Survey. We've got several new features that are coming and several new features that we have added. And I just want to talk about Survey at this moment. So what you do to get to Survey is you go to Groups, and at the very bottom you click on Survey. And this is the page you would see without any information here. It would just say Add a new survey. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to assume that that's what we're going to do, and it's going to look like this, and it's all going to be blank. Let me just try to explain how this works as best as I can, and what you don't need to worry about and what you do need to worry about. This survey section works for both survey and trivia, but we're just going to focus on how to create a survey now. But I want you to understand that you are going to need to fill out some sections about a trivia if you were to have a trivia in here right now, just to make sure that the system works. All right, here we go. Tracking ID, you don't need to worry about. It's for something in the future. The name of the survey, we've named it Survey. This section here, web URL, you do not need to worry about. We'll explain that again in a later time, but leave it blank for now. The keyword is always going to be just one word, and in this case we called it survey. Select the telephone number. Well, we only have one telephone number here, and that's the number we're going to use. Now this is a dummy account, and I've got a couple things running at the same time in here in my testing, so not everything works as expected, but for you it would work fine. Alright, the first thing you need to do is you need to, once somebody texts the word survey to this telephone number, they're going to get a message that says, "Thanks for joining Joe's survey." They're immediately right after that going to get a message that's going to say, who was your server? That's the first thing that's going to be said. But let's go back up here just to make sure you fill out these sections. Very important that you do so. Again, this is about survey. It's not about the trivia portion, but in order to get things to work, you need to fill this out. So let's assume that you were going to do a trivia and you asked for a question and the correct answer was given. It would say you are correct. If the wrong answer was given, it would say you are wrong, silly. So you can put anything in here that you want. The end message is, thanks for taking the survey. Show this message to your server next time you come in and receive 20% off off your next bill. Now, one of the things I would do here is I would add in something about offer ends blah blah blah, whatever date you want to put in here. Okay, again, here is the first question. So the first thing that's going to happen is the person's going to text the word survey. And where would you put this, by the way? If this was a restaurant, I would recommend that you would suggest to your customer or the owner of the business that you create table tents for them. And on the table tent, on one side of the table tent, it might say, take our survey. And in order to do that, text the word survey to this number. And you might also put a QR code there. So those people who understand how to use QR codes will scan this so they don't have to do any typing. All right. So thanks for taking our survey. Let's go on further. Question 1, who is your server? Now you have several options here. You can have a custom answer. So my response can be anything here because I've got the custom answer checked off. If I wanted to, I could click on this button here to add an option and remove the custom answer, add an option which would say 1, Joe, 2, Steve, 3, Sarah, and so on. So they would have to specifically pick one of those names. Question 2, how is your service? Question 3, how is your dining experience? And as you can see, I've got all these ticked off as immediate. I'm going to click on that one for immediate as well. And then you're going to update this. All right, so I'm going to click on update. Now, once that's updated, and let's assume that people are starting to do this and use the service, you want to find out how things are going, right? Testing, testing, testing is the key to your success. So this is what I really love about this new survey / trivia, is I can click the down arrow key here and see that so far 2 people have taken our survey. Now the score is based on trivia, so you don't have to worry about this that in this case, because we know it's a survey, it's not a trivia. Trivia will be discussed in a later video. Let's see how this particular person answered. Well, this person texted in survey, who is your server? The server is Keith. how was your service? It was great. These last two were not answered, and the reason why they were not answered is because I didn't tell the system to push out the question right away. So that was my fault in setting it up. But as you can see, you can see exactly how things would flow. All right, let's take a look at this one here. Same thing, different telephone numbers. Who was your server? Sam. How was it? Excellent. And so on and so forth. Here is something really cool. I could actually, if I wanted to send a message to this particular number, a customer, or this particular customer right now. Are you sure you want to send the message to this number? I'm going to say yes, okay? Now this says please provide custom survey message in the settings. And then it says prevent this page from creating additional dialogues. So example, let's assume you don't want the customer to respond to this, and if they did, it's not going to be pushed anywhere. But let's assume you did want to respond to this customer. Let's say it was an open-ended question. You click on this. Now I'm not going to get any message sent out here because I didn't fill out a certain portion. Now what we want to do here is, and I completely forgot about this and I apologize, so you would check off this, you would say yes, but before you go here you need to go into settings, and inside settings there's the survey customer message, and the customer message might be open-ended or closed-ended. Open-ended would be something like would you like to be added to our VIP group? Now why wouldn't you want to send this to everybody? Well, there might be some disgruntled people taking the survey that you don't want them to be added to your VIP group. And there might be some people that answer the questions that you'd like them to, the way you want them to be answered, and you then want to be able to push them manually to our VIP group. And then you can click update. And when I click on update and I go back here to groups, survey, and if I wanted to push a message to this telephone number, I now can do that and a message would be sent. I hope you find this helpful. Very, very useful, very powerful for the restaurant industry and spas and any type of service industry that you could possibly think of. This is a really powerful tool to use. We're going to be talking about trivia in just the next video. Stay tuned.